Okay, we have a Neville clip here from the end of Where Are You Staying lecture. Sometimes I'll try to do that if I remember, because there's always somebody who wants to know what lecture it's from, but sometimes I don't remember. So if I know, I'll tell you. If I don't, that means I forgot. So anyway, this is an interesting lecture. It talks about how your life here, you come in on time and you exit on time. There's nothing you can do here that's going to postpone your moment of exit, right? Your death, your physical death. And Neville goes through great pains to tell you, it doesn't matter what your personal habits are. You can try to be super healthy and everything, but you're going to leave on time. I mean, you may have an agenda when you're here. Your ego has an agenda. Well, I'm gonna do everything right, and I'm gonna try to live my life as long as possible. But he's telling you it's kind of predetermined. So you may be super healthy. You may die in an accident. You may come down with some genetic disease. You may. It doesn't matter. I mean, something's going to take you out because the thing about life. Everybody's dying to get out, right? That's like an old bad joke, but it's true, you know. Uh, so, uh, so he goes on and he talks about, various people. He gives examples, even from his own family, and you'll also note that, he couldn't speak about this then because it wasn't his time yet. But Neville actually died. Uh, People say it was the death of an alcoholic. He would probably beg to differ and say, look, he enjoyed his drinking or whatever, but he believed his time to die was his time to die. And he even spoke about it leading up to it, that his time was coming near. And then he passed away. So people see his death certificate online and they try to read into it. And some people get disillusioned and say, I'm following this guy and this and that. You're getting caught up on the details here. You're getting caught up on the details of, remember what he said, but like with manifesting, everything, the bridge of incidences, everything appears perfectly logical, like it would have happened anyway. That's how this life is. So don't get caught up in the details too much. Um, so this is a really interesting clip, and it's happening right now.
So all the wisdom of the world will vanish as though it is not. There isn't a morning's paper that does not in some way puncture the theories of the previous day. Now we are finding more and more galaxies. We thought we found them all. Now just found two more, all within our little sphere, as it were. And now tonight, you're going to tell us something else concerning how to live long. May I tell you, you aren't going to postpone your exit from this world by 1 hour. You came in on cue, and you're going to depart on cue. And now you can drink all the citrus fruit in the world. You can have all the vitamin C's in the world, and you aren't going to prolong your little physical garment. You made your entrance on cue, like an actor, and you're going to depart on cue. But while you're playing the part, you can play it. I have seen dozens of Hamlets, and no two played the same part identically. So they had their own interpretation of the part. So you will play your part in your own way, but you're going to leave on time. There is a time to be born, a time to die, a time to laugh, and a time to cry. And all these will come to pass. So you aren't going to postpone it one moment. I saw a little statement in the paper this past week. This little lady in England, 110 years old. What she said, they talk about cigarettes. I have been smoking them now for 90 odd years. And not a thing is wrong with me. And of course, all the industry sent her carton after carton after carton of cigarettes. So she has so many cigarettes now, she'd have to live another 10 to really consume them. But it hasn't affected her. Someone else, you will think it affects you. Churchill died. They said, well, he died. He was 90 years old. He only smoked cigars all through the day and night. So they call it by some other name because he was 90. You can't call it cigarettes or cigars. My father never smoked in his life. He drank like a fish. A 2-bottle man a day. I don't mean water. 85 years old. My mother never drank in her life. She departed at 61. And here is my father, this really a two-fisted drinker. Strong, strapping fellow up to the very last 6 months of his life, then he collapsed. My niece told me the other day she came on to spend a week with us. So you know what Granddaddy died of? I said, he died because his body collapsed. He went on time. She said, no, he had TB. Daddy died of TB at 85. Of all the nonsense in the world. You'll find anything there. I don't care what the world will tell me. And so they called that the cause of death. Before he came in. He came in on time, and he departed on time. Train came home to dinner last Saturday night. So I just came from a funeral. And then mentioned this sweet little girl, 24 years old, with her 2 children. And her husband, just 28, killed in an accident. 28. And so he was snuffed out riding his motorcycle. A pattern. The same thing happened to her own parents. She never saw her father. He was killed in the Second World War. And here are these little children she has now. They will not remember their father. They know him now, but time will fade their memories. They won't know him. It's a pattern. But may I tell you, take hope. You are Jesus Christ of Scripture. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? You're asked that question in the last chapter of Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. Test yourself and see. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? Well, if he is in me, I should make every effort in this world to find him. Who is he? I'm telling you who he is. He is your own wonderful human imagination. That is the immortal man. That is Jesus Christ. And there never was another Jesus Christ. And he is crucified on you, your own wonderful body of flesh. As Paul tells us in his letter to the Galatians, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live, yet not I. Christ lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Actually became as I am, crucified on this body, the only cross he ever wore. And one day he will awaken in me, and I will know that I am he. And in all the things said of him, I will experience. Yes, there is my Peter waiting for me to make the confession. For I know who I am, but I'm waiting. And that must come. And a little girl enters the state and makes the confession. Yes, he appeared unto me 3 times. First, as a man. Then, as the king. Did he not say, my kingdom is not of this world? He saw it in spirit. First, the man took her to see the king, and you were the king. You, the man, faded. And then, you know what? The king faded too. And now here, he appears to me as Jesus Christ the Lord. He is the Son of God. So I tell you, I know from my own experience, this is the experience of every child born of woman. Do not despair. Should you drop dead now, you don't die. You're restored to life. In a world just like this, terrestrial just like this. And you'll be living in a world just like this with the same problems. And you'll be living either in a physical state, psychological state, and a spiritual state. And the spiritual state is moving in the direction towards the fulfillment, the climax, which is Jesus Christ. So it doesn't really matter. And you will one day awaken. May I tell you, I have awakened, and I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you where you're going to find me, within you. Because in taking off this garment, where can I go but to the Father? And where is the Father? He is not only through all, he is in all. He's omnipresent and immanent. And that's where I am closer than I could ever be standing on this platform. For here I could be near to you, but there I am not near to you. For nearness implies separation. And I'm not near when I leave this garment. I am you. But that aspect of your own being that is awake. And that being is waiting eagerly for the awaking of you. And then we are one. And in the end, we're all one. So we live as one man. Contracting our infinite senses, we behold multitude. Or expanding, we behold as one. As one man, all the universal family.
And isn't that was great? And I just wanted to append this, end it by saying I can think of yet another example. There was a Dr. Roy Walford. He was a guy who uh, pioneered studying of restricted calorie eating in lengthening lifespan. He did experiments with mice and rats and stuff like that, and found that restricting calories extended biological lifespan. So he planned on doing it to himself, and he planned he was going to live to about at least 120 years old. Well, guess what? Dr. Walford died. He ended up with some genetic disease that there's no cure for, and he passed away. Um, his restrictive eating plan couldn't help him because it was his time to leave this plane of existence. So, I'm not saying to go out there and just live unhealthy or whatever. And, what Neville is trying to say is that you came in on cue and you will leave on cue, and you're not going to postpone it by 1 hour, no matter what you do here. So, if you're into being healthy, that's great. But I mean, there's people who, they can do all the unhealthy stuff and they don't have anything seemingly wrong with them. Or maybe the thing that's wrong with you based on your habits is just plays into the time you're going to leave anyway. I don't know. It's still kind of a mystery to me, but this is what Neville said. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, listening, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.